Hello. Hello, welcome. Hello. How are we all? Are we good? That was a very quiet clap. Can I have another one? Welcome to the this today. Hello. Welcome, of course, to the INCUBATE Accelerator Demo Day for 2022. It is a delight to be here. I also wanted to acknowledge that fantastic video that you just saw. That welcome video was produced in partnership with the local Gadigal people of the Eora Nation and in line with ancient customs and protocols. Before I continue, I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians that we have the utmost privilege to be on their land today. We are on the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, and I pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, because as we know, as we're on this university site, this is the presence of teaching and learning and research practices within this university, and we have to pay respect to the knowledge that is embedded within Aboriginal custodianship of country. Okay, hello everybody, nice to see you all. My name's Fenella Kernebone. It is a delight to MC the top and tail of tonight's event. It is going to be so much fun, and you have a bunch of speakers back there who are very, very excited and maybe just a tiny little bit nervous. So, I know I made you clap before, but clapping is such a delightful thing. Let's make them all aware that you're here and that you love them. Give it another big round of applause for our friends. So it's such a pleasure to be here as we celebrate the value and the potential and the impact of innovation. And as you're going to see, there are some incredible projects and startups on display that you get to have a think about. Now, this is the 10th year of Incubate, an absolutely epic number, and congratulations to everybody who's been involved in the program over the past 10 years. It is, in fact, one of the first university-based accelerator programs in Australia, and that is something that the University of Sydney can be incredibly proud of. Over 10 years, Incubate has supported over 145 startups. That's worth a clap. Yes? All right. And it's been launched, startups that have been launched by students, by staff, by researchers, all from the University of Sydney as well as alumni. These startups have made their impact not only around the country, but around the industries that they're in and also around the world. And as I said tonight, you're really going to get a sense of what they have in store for you this year and what this latest cohort are cooking up. So much to come. I'm going to get off the stage because I am very delighted to welcome someone to introduce and to support this evening for us. For the past 10 years, one of the constants, of course, for this accelerator program has been the support of the University of Sydney's Chancellor, Belinda Hutchinson. She supported the program both with her time and with her excellent connections and the growth of innovation through Incubate. So it is a great pleasure to welcome Chancellor Belinda Hutchinson. Would you please welcome her to the stage?
Thanks, Fenella. This is one of my favourite events of the year. It's always so exciting to be able to come and see our students, our staff and our alumni, so entrepreneurial and doing such great things. And I just wanted to say, I also want to add my respects and pay my respects to the Gadi mob. The Gadigal mob have been on these lands innovating for tens of thousands of years, and we always need to pay our respect to them, their elders past, present and emerging. Now, this is a particularly exciting night, as Fenella has said, because it's not just the 17th demo day, it's actually the 10th anniversary of Incubate. Incubate has now been going on our campus for all of that time, absolutely enabling our entrepreneurial staff, students and alumni to work together to come up with great ideas and then to flourish and take them out into the world. And I'm not sure if Fenella has the numbers actually right. I thought there was 145 startups we've had. And I've heard that we've created over 1,000 jobs through Incubate. I've also heard that we've actually created $40 million in value and raised $70 million as well. So there's been a lot going on over the last 10 years. And as I said, it's been a fantastic program for so many of our students and so many of our staff. And there's been a number of programs that I've come to and nights like this that I've come to, which, as I said, is just really so makes me so proud of being Chancellor of this university when I see the sort of startups and brilliant ideas that we have here. And some of them that have really resonated with me have been things like the TEDx, which is just an amazing new technology which enables radiologists around the world to really improve their detection of breast cancer by something like 35%. Just a brilliant, brilliant start to really helping those women who suffer from breast cancer. The other one that I've really liked is Earth AI, which uses machine learning data analysis to de-risk and shorten exploration times for mineral discovery, and they've just continued to go on to great success. And then, of course, there's Carapac, which again, another one I really like, which is actually taking and using shells, crustacean shells, to break them down, using them from plastics. And when those plastics need to be recycled, they can be used for mulch to go back into the soil. So just a wonderful virtual circle of recycling. And another one I really like is MetaSense, which has developed a wearable device that uses sensors and analytics to manage UV risk and skin cancer in the workplace. So people who are actually working outside are able to use these devices and go around and be protected, because we know when they've had too much exposure to UV. So they're just some of the many, many examples of great things that have happened through the INCUBATE program, some of the many programs that we've been able to develop here. And this year, I am sure, will be just as exciting. The 9 programs that are going to be demonstrated today, our 9 teams that are going to present this evening, have got brilliant ideas as well. And this is our opportunity to hear from them, to encourage them, to celebrate their success, to really give them a big round of applause as they go through their presentations. And I just want to say there's some very special people that I need to thank. And those are our mentors and others who support this program. If it wasn't for the 200-odd mentors that we have who've donated over the years 14,000 hours to help our students and our staff, this program would not be possible. You know who you are. We need to thank you, and we want you to stay with us, because this is one of the most sought after and popular programs we have at our university. So thank you on behalf of the university. And just to finish up, I'm really sad that I can't actually be here for the whole of tonight. Unfortunately, I've got another engagement. I have actually read up about the ventures that we're going to be hearing about tonight, and they sound just fantastic. So please encourage all of our participants tonight and enjoy the evening, and congratulations to the INCUBATE team on their 10th anniversary. It's just brilliant, and it's a great success story for our university. Thank you.
Because I like a clap, another round of applause for our Chancellor, Belinda Hutchinson. Thank you. That was amazing. It was wonderful to hear the history of some of the great programs and startups that have started here as part of INCUBATE over the past 17 and 10 years. So that's where we've been, and you're about to see where we're going. There are incredible startups here. They're backstage, they're ready to rumble, and it's your job to make them feel absolutely loved and welcome. So without further ado, to welcome to the stage, it is now the Accelerator Program Manager, David Smith from INCUBATE. He's going to be steering the ship for the next little while. Let's make him welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm losing my voice, one too many rehearsals, so I'll try my best to get this out quickly. From humble beginnings in the USU basement, now to a custom-built facility as part of Sydney University, INCUBATE has gone from strength to strength in the last 10 years. And this cohort is no exception. 9 teams have successfully completed the program. Now, 4 of these teams are female-led, including 1 team that is an all-female co-founding team and 2 solo female founders. We also have 6 first-generation Australian founders. Thank you. And the stat that I'm sort of happiest with is we have 2 frequent flyers or return customers, whatever you want to say. They are basically founders that have run a startup through INCUBATE before and then have come back with a new business idea or a new spin on their existing business and have gone through the program again because they see the value in it. Now, I won't get up here and talk too much, but I do want to say at the end of this event, there will be networking in the back, so you will get to meet all the startups. If you are watching live, you will be able to connect with the startup founders via their Calendly links or their URLs. But now I'm going to send you through to the main event, the startups. Now, our first startup is Johnny from Jettle. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And Johnny loves to teach. He has turned that love into a business, experienced exponential growth, and it will only get bigger. Johnny from Jettle.
Thank you. Over 8,000 students and 50 school contracts in New South Wales. 50 paid contracts that span for 3 years on average. This is what Jettle has achieved in just over 2 years. And in 2022, these recurring school subscriptions, coupled with direct sales to parents and students, are going to generate over $200,000 in revenue. Hi everyone, I'm Johnny from Jettle, and we help high school students with ace their exams by simplifying study through online learning resources. When it comes to high school exams, students, parents, and teachers alike want to see results. This is why the tutoring market alone is on track to reach $238 billion worldwide by 2028. And this should come as no surprise. We can all remember the stresses of studying for an essay on Shakespeare, or trying to learn macroeconomics the night before an exam. For me personally, a lot of this stress came from just knowing how to prepare and finding the right materials in order to get as close to full marks as possible. From structuring a response to simply starting a sentence, I wanted to see exactly how to apply my knowledge so that I could feel confident in my writing. But more often than not, the resources that I found were either subpar in quality or irrelevant to my particular course. And right now, class time, for which 92% of teachers report being underprepared, private tuition, which only 1 in 4 families can actually afford, and generic textbooks, for which engagement has long been declining, are failing to optimize exam performance across the board. So after teaching hundreds of students myself, I began to develop an online solution, providing the ultimate study guides in just 1 click. Jettle offers 24/7 access to video and written form content that combines teacher expertise with student know-how. At just a fraction of the price of tutoring, a student can instantly view resources that not only speak directly to the demands of their particular syllabus, but that demonstrate, through deconstructed examples and practical explanations, precisely how to excel in a given subject. With its ever-expanding network of over 30 content creators and a new platform that is improving student engagement, Jettle's team of experienced teachers and high-achieving students are providing everything that a student could want to prepare for their exams. And the news is traveling fast. Jettle has already established a successful team in social media, attracting over 1 million views on YouTube alone and converting some of Jettle's largest paying customers as a result. Now, Jettle has 2 customer segments, selling to schools via cohort-wide subscriptions and selling directly to parents and students. And until recently, Jettle has focused primarily on the Year 12 English course in New South Wales. But now that it is trusted by over 50 schools and over 8,000 students, Jettle is ready to grow. Jettle will continue to attract talent from subject experts so that it can provide more subjects to more year groups in more countries. And to optimize the learning experience of every student, Jettle will invest in technologies that not only target individual weaknesses, but that incentivize study through immersive experiences that make learning fun and accessible. Now, to support this growth in sales, product development, and technical innovation, Jettle is currently raising its first round of investment. So if you would like to be part of that journey, please reach out to me at Johnny, Jonny, @jettle.com. And of course, if you know any students, parents, or teachers who might be interested in Jettle's resources, our website is simply jettle.com. Thank you all so much for your time. I hope you have a great evening, and I will see you at the back.
Thank you, Johnny. Buying a house or choosing where to put a business is probably the biggest financial decision most of us will ever make. Yet the information we have is probably less information than we can get trading some cheap penny stock. Here to fix that problem is Eddie from Urban.
Tonight, I'm going to talk about buying a property. And I hope I'll give you a new perspective to take away, especially if we're in the market right now. So when we're looking for properties, we all know how much we're paying for the square meters, the number of a bedroom, bathroom. They're quantifiable. But do we really know how much we're paying for the location of the properties? Have we ever overpaid for those locations? You probably wonder how to work out the numbers right now, but this is actually a much bigger problem. I started the journey with my best friend, Annie and Chan. They are a married couple in their 30s and looking to buy a home. After shortlisting a few, they found themselves in heated discussions about which location was more convenient than others, whether some of the locations are overpriced, and they were on the verge of breaking down multiple times. Even though they overcome the emotional hurdle and finally settled on a place, they later learned they paid a hefty premium for the location. And trust me, Annie and Chen are not alone. So what if we could rate every property based on their location and use that location rating to compare the purchase price? And this is what I mean. We have two properties here from the same suburb. Similar land size, 3 bedrooms, sold within 2 months apart. Despite the similarity, here are the differences. One was sold for $2.28 million, another was sold for $3.3. In terms of location, one was rated at 5.33 out of 10, another was rated at 8.78. And this is why the property on the right-hand side was sold for $1 million more. And this is how location should be measured and compared. It is so easy, yet so powerful. At Urban, we draw inspirations from Chinese proverb, 衣, 食, 住, 行, which are shopping, dining, living, and commuting, and are building a standardized rating system for locations. We have a patent model that combines my franchising experience, custom insights, and data science to solve one problem: avoid overpaying for the property's location. My name is Eddie. I'm a franchising expert, a data scientist, an app developer. I've helped more than 300 users to make the right choices, and I can help 60,000 more home buyers, property investors each year in Australia, representing a $660 million market. It doesn't stop here. Our patent model also works in anywhere around the world, which is equivalent to a $10 billion market. In terms of pricing, we have a freemium so home buyers could enjoy the benefit. We have a property investor option to help them build a healthy portfolio. So for $6.80 a month, they could access to the premium categories and personalize their selection criteria. We've also learned that business owners are interested in using our solution to help them select the right site. So for $10.80 a month, they could identify underserved locations and draw insight from the foot traffic. Everything we're doing at Urban is to prevent expensive mistakes so no one will have to go through what Annie and Chan have experienced. We'd like to share this with the public, to have our first 1,000 users and move into the MVP stage. And this is my ask for tonight. Please download the app, find out a rating of your home and workplaces. Let us know what you like the most about it and what we could do to improve it by clicking on the feedback button in the app or sending me an email. Because your feedback is about to shape the future of the global property market. I'm Eddie from Urban. Thank you so much.
Great job, bud. Well done. Thank you, Eddie. Our next startup, oat-based cream cheese. I have to admit, I had no idea what I was going to do with this one when I started. I'm not a dairy person, but my wife is and my son is, and they are obsessed with this. So here to teach you how to treat yourself with compassion, Sarah from Compassion Creamery.
Vegan cheese. Yes, it does have a reputation for being not that great, yet. Because, like all of us, it's a work in progress, but moreover, it has the potential to change the world. You see, currently, supermarkets stock what is known as the first generation of vegan cheeses, essentially a solid block of saturated fats and starches, not that healthy or tasty. Or if you go to the next generation of more artisanal cheeses, they're full of nuts and soy. Not the best if you have an allergy. But you see, people are also conflicted because of the environmental and ethical and health consequences of consuming animal products and dairy. And that's what happened to me. So I studied chemical engineering at Sydney University, but I'm actually from New Zealand and Kiwi. And back home, oh boy, do we love our dairy. But it wasn't until I actually got a bit of a health scare when I realized, oh crap, I really need to cut this out. And so over a period of a few months, I gradually cut out more and more animal protein until one day I was vegan. And that was 7 years ago. But you see, during this time, I had an increasing number of people, and when I say people, I mean non-vegans coming up to me, asking me for a really good vegan cheese recommendation. And I just always felt a little bit stumped, not quite sure what to say. But interestingly, these were the same people that were also raving about how amazing their morning oat milk lattes were. And so if you're thinking, oh gosh, why hasn't there been an oat cheese? Well, after 1.5 years of R&D, I can finally tell you that the answer to that question is because it's really hard. It's taken me 250 recorded versions to get to one that I can truly stand behind, and so that is why I have created Compassion Creamery. Using my chemical engineering background, I've combined traditional dairy cheese making techniques with an innovative base handcrafted from 100% Australian-grown oats, without the use of any fillers and starches, saturated fats and coconut oils, nuts and soy. And it's also cultured and fermented, just like dairy cheese. Because you see, at Compassion, we have an emphasis on health. Yes, at the moment there is a seismic shift towards plant-based, but soon enough people will want healthy plant-based foods. And we'll be there to meet that demand. Because, as it turns out, oats are pretty much the perfect candidate for the job. They're incredibly healthy with a tiny environmental footprint compared to dairy, and are one of the only foods that contain cholesterol-lowering beta-glucans. And whilst our first customers will be those that are health conscious, I want to make sure that any one of us that goes out in the morning to grab their oat milk latte will also be able to grab an oat cream cheese bagel. Currently, we're stocked at a few cafes around Sydney, sold out at the past 4 Sydney vegan markets that we're at. Most recently, thank you. Most recently did a bagel breakfast at Canva headquarters over in Surrey Hills, and 2 Provadors and Smith & Daughters all want to stock us. So, where to from here? Well, we need to scale up our production by 50 times in order to reach retail shelves. And so what that means is that we have bespoke designed equipment made just for us, arriving this very moment on a ship from overseas. And so my ask to you then is, if you know of any grocery buyers, or even better, if you are a buyer yourself, please reach out. Otherwise, any cafes, restaurants, or workplaces that you would love to see an oat cream cheese stocked at, please let me know. But I don't want you to just take my word for it. I'll be out the back handing out samples, so please come along, say hi, and let me know what you think. Otherwise, feel free to let me know on Instagram at compassion.creamery. Here I upload my own recipe videos, behind-the-scenes stories, and just follow us for our journey. And finally, I want to leave you with this. My vision for Compassion Creamery is for us all to have a tub of cream cheese sitting in our fridges, to serve not only as a reminder to be kind towards all that inhabit this earth that we share, but to remember that that also includes ourselves. So remember to treat yourself with compassion. Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you who are physically here, you will get to try Compassion Creamery later at the back there, so right next to the wine, conveniently. Our next startup is our first frequent flyer, Ming. He launched his first business, Mirth Scooters, in cohort 12. Since then, he has made over $10 million in scooter sales and has captured over 8% of the Australian market. But Ming realized he wasn't doing everything right. And then he looked around at his competitors and realized they weren't doing it either. And that is how RideHub was born. Ming from RideHub.
The world is getting into an electric era, especially in transportation, thanks to Elon. The Australian sales of electric ride has tripled over the last 2 years alone, and that is just the beginning. I'm Ming. I founded Australia's first e-scooter brand, Mirth, 6 years ago. I still remember the moment when I sold our first scooter 6 years back to a construction worker. I was so excited about it, and I even called my wife about it. Today, Mirth has become the best-selling and leading e-scooter brand in the nation. We have established a good reputation with consumers as well as all these big players in the retail industry. And that puts me into a unique position that I can see some interesting trends and opportunities. And one of the reasons for the rocketing demand in the e-ride industry is technology advancement. 6 years back, when I told the customers our scooter can go up to 10 kilometers in a single charge, they would be amazed. 10 kilometers. Today, the Mirth IS Pro we launched this year can go up to 100 kilometers in a single charge. But let me tell you a secret about this industry. The key to success is not about the specification. It's not about if it's a 36-volt scooter, 48-volt, or 60-volt scooter. The key is all about after-sales. Yet, 95% of businesses selling e-rides do not offer satisfactory support to their customers. This is an actual photo I taken in Ultimo, right here. This rider wraps its battery with plastic wraps, which makes it literally a walking bomb. And obviously, he didn't get the support he needed from where he bought it. Definitely not from us. And I hate to admit that we were one of them not paying enough attention in after sales to our customers. In the first 2 years of our journey, we have changed that. And until I met my partner, Haider, the techno king in our after sales department. And that's why I started my second company, RideHub, the ultimate e-ride repair network. At RideHub, we aim to build the first e-ride repair network in the nation. That means we provide a one-stop solution for all types and brands of e-rides. E-bikes, e-scooters, unicycle, e-skateboard, anything you name it. And everything from simple as changing a tire to a complex mechatronic problem. We got you. Right now, we have 12 repair locations across the nation. Our Melbourne hub will be open in July this year. And that is the difference between Mirth Scooter and RideHub. Mirth focusing on using the most advanced technology to engineer, to manufacture scooters, and other e-rides, while RideHub focuses on helping other businesses and other brands to provide a much better after-sales experience to all their customers. If you believe in this industry and want to be a part of it, we would love to have a chat with you down there in our booth. And we are also expanding our advisory board. If you are someone or you know someone who is an expert in the retail industry or in the logistic industry, it would be great to have a chat with you. And if you don't have an e-ride yet, I think maybe you should consider going electric. It is good for you, it is good for the environment, and it is really, really fun. I'll see you down there.
Our next startup gave me my favorite quote of the entire cohort. 66% is not a niche, it's the mainstream. Too many fashion labels have put plus sizes in the too hard basket, but Lookbook are here to change that. Catherine from Lookbook.
Plus-size fashion is not a cute little niche. It's something that impacts 66% of Australian women, and the domestic market alone is worth $6 billion. Clothing is so key to how we present and show up in the world. But what if you're a size 14 or above woman, just like me? As many women do, my body size, weight, and shape has fluctuated my entire life. And for me, to find brands and clothes to fit my personal style aesthetic has been an absolute nightmare ever since I can remember. For me, when I go shopping, it's not a joyous experience, but it's really anxiety-inducing. I'm forever struggling to find pants to fit my juicy thighs or jackets to fit my shoulders. And for me, when I leave a shopping experience, I feel nothing but alone and the feeling of shame. And this isn't just my experience, but it's the experience of 66% of Australian women. And this is exactly why we created Lookbook. Because these women are collectively spending $6 billion on clothes that don't feel right for them, and the majority of us are returning what we buy. If we expand this out globally, the market is worth $300 billion. At Lookbook, we truly believe that everyone has the right to show up in the world just as they are. In order to achieve this, we're creating the world's leading 14+ fashion destination. It's based on 3 core pillars. Fashion, curating the world's leading 14+ fashion brands to make sure that every woman can find something absolutely stunning to fit their personal style aesthetic. Fit. We're developing out a data-driven fit technology to make meaningful fit recommendations to all of our customers. And family. We're creating a beautiful online community so that our community will never feel alone. I'm Catherine, and I am so proud to have created Lookbook alongside my co-founder, Katrina. Between us, we have 2 decades of top-tier consulting experience. We've managed portfolios worth millions of dollars, and we've sat in key directorship positions on boards across an array of different industries. And what this really means for Lookbook is that we're able to lead globally scalable businesses. We've only been live in the Australian market for 2 months, and I'm proud to say that since then, we've signed 12 brands onto Lookbook. We have another 5 that are in our onboarding process right now, Our social media reach is 500,000, and our cost of customer acquisition is as low as $30. Our sales growth has been 150% month on month, and our returns rate is as low as 10%. And if you like the sound of these numbers, we would absolutely love to hear from you because, of course, we do have a funding round open. At Lookbook, our vision is to revolutionize 14+ fashion. We want to make it unapologetically aspirational, completely attainable, and easily accessible for all plus women. Our ask of you tonight is to please follow us across all of our social channels and start shopping on our amazing website. You can see the QR code on the screen. And of course, we have a stunning gift for you all, which is a 15% discount code. So please use Incubate 15, and also feel free to share this amongst your networks. We're Lookbook, and welcome to the fashion revolution.
Thank you, Catherine. Now, I always butcher Addie's tagline, so I'm just going to read it out. Addie democratizes online accessibility. And at 12,000 users in less than 1 year, it's quite a little democracy. If you use Figma, Sketch, XD, or Canva, and you want to make sure that your designs are accessible to everybody, you need to download the Addie plugin. Javad from Addie.
Did you know businesses without accessible websites are losing $6.9 billion in revenue compared to websites with accessibility in mind? I'm Javad. With Samina, we are co-founders of Addie. Addie is online accessibility testing tool with the mission of democratizing online accessibility. Accessibility standards ensure people with cognitive, physical, or visual disabilities have equal access to the websites. Look at these examples. This is a codes website that we have tested in Addie plugin. As you can see, it has failed touch size button. And people with Parkinson or just having big finger have difficulty using this website. It's a point of failure for this website and a blocker for the user. Another example that we tested with Addie, as you can see, color contrast is not good, and it has failed. It means people with low vision or elderly have difficulty using this website. It's the time that banks are moving all the services to online platforms. Again, technology excluded people. How does this happen? It's because testing and support systems are not integrated in early stages of design and development of the softwares. And fixing these issues later when product is live is time-consuming, expensive. In fact, 67% of the defects originate in design and development phases. And as you can see, when a product goes to the later stages, it becomes much harder to resolve that. Governments actually doing their job. They are enforcing regulations, accessibility regulations and laws, and number of lawsuits actually is increasing. And as you can see in the trend, big brands in the last years have lawsuits. And it's also because of the public awareness about accessibility and new group of people that need to use, for example, COVID situation. How Addie helps? Addie helps designers and developers at a very early stage to find the issues and fix them early and save time and money. Actually, it started last year as a plugin for Adobe XD, Sketch, Figma, and recently Canva, that are the mainstream platforms for design. And in the next stage, we are launching ADDIE platform that is automated, collaborative, it's more comprehensive, and can be used for testing in large scale. We already have 12,000 users, and from those, 2,000 of them already subscribe to be in the prospect list of the ADDIE platform. We are going to use plugin as a gateway to convert our users to ADDIE platform. And we provide subscription as a professional or enterprise. And it's ideal for B2B model. ADDIE has won several awards, including Good Design Award and Best Artifact Award in Asset Conference. We have a strategic partnership with Adobe for Adobe XD product, with more than 12 million users worldwide. We are a small but efficient team. I'm a developer, and my wife, Samine, is designer and online accessibility researcher in Sydney Uni, and we have a little daughter, Hannah. We would like to hear from you, your website, your business, your accessibility challenges in online context. We would like to help you to make sure your services in online platform are accessible for everyone. You can reach out to us and email us to hello@addie.co and check our website. Thank you, everyone.
Rather than ruin any surprises for anyone, all I'm going to say is this. If you have friends or family up on stage tonight, you really want to pay attention to the Ask section of this presentation. Andrew from Treat.
Thank you. I'd like to start by asking you to close your eyes and think about your best friend. I'd like you to imagine that they've just given you a phone call and they've told you some really exciting news and they've asked you to come and celebrate with them. Think about the excitement and anticipation that would make you want to go and jump in a car, give them a hug, or crack open a nice bottle of wine. Now I'd like you to imagine that you can't. We all know that feeling of pain and melancholy when we know that somebody who is important to us is celebrating a life highlight and we can't be there to celebrate with them. So what do you do when you can't be there to celebrate? Well, you might consider sending a couple of glasses of champagne to their table, or maybe you'll arrange for a cake with a candle in it, just to contribute in some small way in your absence. But even though you might try, less than half of you will actually be able to go through with it. And that wouldn't be your fault either. Most venues won't cater to planned, let alone spontaneous gestures. I'm someone who's tried, and my own experience left me feeling less than satisfied with my gesture. When some close friends of mine got engaged abroad, my wife and I decided we'd send them some champagne to their room. Should be pretty simple, right? Well, we called up the hotel, and what we thought would be a quick conversation quickly cascaded into multiple emails, and ultimately me sending a copy of my passport, credit card, and a handwritten authorization to a resort in Mexico. Now, I don't even want to get started on the identity theft implications of that. But we did get there, only a day later than I'd expected. In fact, the resort delivered the bottle first thing in the morning, just after the couple had left for the day. So by the time they got home, it sat there in a warm, tepid bath of water. Not exactly the gesture that I'd anticipated. And so that's how Treat was born. Treat lets friends gift as though they were there. Treat lets friends make planned or spontaneous gestures of gifts from a venue and witness the surprise and delight in their friends' eyes as that gesture is made. Treat is made as a link, and that link can be made in a couple of taps, shared with anyone via any channel. Friends can choose items from the list, provide a personalized note, and their credit card is held only until the venue actually accepts the treat and can deliver it. The venue receives treats through a mobile app, and the moment the venue receives a treat takes carriage of communication so that that friend is anticipating and excited about the arrival of their treat. The best part is that because those gifts are coming from outside the venue's happy for us to take a commission on each of those treat orders. So why us? Well, my co-founder, Tom, and I, Andrew Nunn, we've worked in the nightlife industry for almost a decade. In that time, we've founded a platform which has become crucial to VIP operations in some of the world's best nightclubs. Now, that might seem like a weird tangent, but for us, it's perfect. You see, every booth or table booking in a nightclub is a celebration of something. And so being able to work with our existing relationships allowed us to test and quickly iterate Treat in a context when we could work with up to 30 events per night. In fact, watching treats delivered from as far away as London to guests in Melbourne piqued the interest of promotions and groups and venues worldwide. And in addition to onboarding several high-end Melbourne nightclubs, we travelled to Hollywood in March and onboarded Avalon in Hollywood, which is a huge, well-known venue in Hollywood, Los Angeles. Thank you. While we were there, we pitched, mighty successfully I might add, to one of the largest nightlife groups in the world as well. And so I'm going to bring this back because Treat's potential doesn't stop at nightclubs. I'm going to show you that tonight. We've made a Treat link for Demo Day. Behind me is a QR code. I'm going to encourage you all to lift up your phones and scan this. This is the ask that David mentioned. You'll see there the teams that have presented this evening. There is some more to come. If you've seen anything that you really like and you'd like to encourage those teams with a gesture, you can choose to send them a glass of champagne to their seat right now. We will make sure any message you provide is handed over and that the gesture is captured for you all to see. Thank you all so much, and thanks for listening.
Thank you. Unfortunately for everybody, my name is not on that list, so I'll stay sober. Our next startup is our second last startup of the night. Now, if you've ever been on a project that involves engineers or designers or just too many people wanting to have feedback, you've seen that it can turn into a nightmarish loop. And if the wrong product goes to production, it can cost millions of dollars. Here to fix that is Sophia from Genola.
I remember the moment I decided to become an engineer. I didn't know what it meant. All I knew is that I wanted to build robots, come up with crazy inventions, and play with machines, just like the ones in the superhero movies. Since then, I realized innovation doesn't happen like a superhero movie, and massive projects involve teams of many different people. And that means paperwork, approval processes, miscommunications, delays, lost revenue. Only last month, a fellow engineer told me that the approval processes suck the joy out of innovation. I'm Sophia from Genola. With a background in mechatronic engineering and computer science, I started Genola in 2021 after getting frustrated with the lack of collaboration tools available to engineering teams. Even though we're living in 2022, many teams still share their 3D designs via email. And that can get really confusing, especially when everyone has requests for changes. Eventually, you get a mess of a file with a very ridiculous name. Does final_final_final sound familiar? Funny file names aside, confusion in engineering collaboration can have serious consequences. If a manufacturer receives the wrong design, the firm can lose millions in material and labor cost. Genolo prevents expensive manufacturing mistakes and speeds up projects by simplifying 3D file sharing for engineering design teams. we have developed a secure online solution that allows engineering teams to very easily share their 3D designs with external stakeholders. To share a design on the Genolo platform, all a designer has to do is upload a file, enter an email, and click share. The approver then receives an email notification telling them to open the file, add comments, and approve. There are many different ways companies try to solve this problem at the moment, and these range from the basic email attachment all the way to large-scale product lifecycle management tools. These solutions are ineffective because they either don't support 3D files, require extra design software to open the file, or provide a confusing, outdated experience. We work specifically with 3D files and provide an ease of sharing that no other competitor on the market does. Genolo is a SaaS platform charging per user, and our customers are mid-sized engineering and industrial design firms. With over 45,000 engineering design firms just in Australia, the domestic market size is approximately $200 million. Internationally, the market size is over $1 billion. 3D files are on the rise, with rapid growth in industries like the metaverse, VR, and NFTs. The need for Genolo is only going to increase as we expand to other industries. We have developed Genolo in consultation with over 50 engineering companies in Australia, the US, and the UK. We are in production and signing on users for our beta. We have already signed on and are running a pilot program with the Sydney Manufacturing Hub, who provides world-class manufacturing facilities to leading Australian researchers and industry professionals. At Genolo, we're on a mission to simplify the engineering design process. Our vision is to enable and inspire dreamers to build the future. If you use 3D files, sign up for our beta on genolo.com. If you know anyone who uses 3D files or is in the manufacturing industry, please reach out to us. Thank you.
Well done. Our last startup for tonight is Metabolis. So we've just gotten out of one pandemic, and we could be sleepwalking into another. Type 2 diabetes. But it can be beaten. You need the right team. And the right team is Tom Clark and Dr. Tim English. Tom from Metabolis.
Take a look at the person sitting to your left and to your right. Statistically speaking, one of you is at risk of type 2 diabetes. About 30 people in this hall have type 2 diabetes, and 150 people watching online will have it too. And these rates are only going up year after year, with no sign of slowing down. Hi, I'm Tom Clark from Metabolis, and this is my co-founder, Dr. Tim English. Together, we're reducing the impact of type 2 diabetes with our evidence-based digital health platform that makes practitioners' lives easier and patients' lives longer. Now, despite how pervasive and damaging type 2 diabetes has become, fundamentally, we know what causes it: our behavior, and how to fix it, change that behavior. But if you've ever tried to suddenly start going to the gym 3 times a week, pick up a diet, or stick to a New Year's resolution, you know that it's hard. And it doesn't help when we built a world around us that incentivizes convenience. Netflix, Uber Eats, and Milk Run all want you to move as little as possible. Why? Because they monetize your inertia. So it's no wonder that when patients are handed a piece of paper and expected to turn their lives around, that 95% of them end up dropping off their treatment plans. That's why when you think of type 2 diabetes treatment, you probably think of insulin injections, or if you're one of the billions of people who have it in their family, you think of metformin. But changing your behavior is medically proven to be twice as effective as pharmaceuticals in preventing type 2 diabetes, and it's the only method we know about that reverses type 2 diabetes. Now, if you don't know what an exercise physiologist is, they're the allied health practitioner that prescribes exercise plans to people with type 2 diabetes, in the same way that a dietitian would prescribe a dietary plan. But in both cases, these practitioners are stuck in a reactive, paper-based system that doesn't enable them to provide the ongoing support, accountability, incentive, and education that these patients need to get better. For these practitioners, that 95% drop-off rate means they're having to spend more time finding new patients than they do treating patients. Since all they have is paper, the only way they know if patients are or are not doing their treatment is if patients do or do not show up to their next appointment. Our system enables practitioners to support their patients by streamlining prescription, data analysis, reporting, and of course, patient tracking and communication. Our safety net can detect when patients are at risk of dropping off and make sure they don't fall through the cracks. This increase in patient retention, along with a patient subscription plan, means more revenue for the clinics and more progress for their patients. Our pilot study offered improvements across the board. We reduced waist circumference by an average of 0.75 centimeters. We improved sleep by 14%. We improved weekly average steps by 50%. And we improved diet by 10%. But most importantly, no Metabolis patients dropped off their treatment. That means that Metabolis is already outperforming conventional treatments and preventing severe illness. And that was just with our clunky initial proof of concept. Now, we're building a sleeker, more scalable solution to be deployed by the 50 clinicians already on our waiting list. So why us? Well, I'm a medtech product designer and entrepreneur. My first startup actually went through Class 7. And Dr. Tim English understands this space better than most. It was his frustration with the inefficiency of the system that led him to a path of research and teaching here at the University of Sydney, where he felt he could do more good from outside the clinic. But after a decade of past students telling him the system still isn't working, he reached out. And since the end of last year, we've been working to build Metabolis and finally change the way people change. So why now? Well, we are at the intersection of an unprecedented global cardiac health risk and an unprecedented adoption in health technology, fueled, of course, by COVID-19. So first things first, we do have a traditional ask tonight. We're looking to raise a pre-seed in the coming months, so if you or anyone you know is interested in Metabolis, please reach out and let's have a chat. Our second ask tonight is that you please check your risk of type 2 diabetes, because for every person diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, there's someone else where it goes undetected. To check your risk, you can scan this QR code or go to metabo.ly/checkmyrisk. And especially if you return a moderate to high risk profile, please, please speak to your GP. Thank you.
Well done, bud. Can I get one more round of applause for all the startups up the back and backstage? As we sort of mentioned earlier, this is the 17th cohort of INCUBATE, and it is our 10-year anniversary of what I still biasly think is Australia's greatest university accelerator program. Now, COVID was an interesting time for the INCUBATE team, but we still achieved a lot, especially my predecessors, Ben and Nina. They delivered INCUBATE Cohort 16 smack in the middle of COVID, and they delivered multiple streams of our pre-accelerator Proto-X program, including the MBA Pathways program, and they started the progress for programs focused on medtech and First Nation founders. What they also did was introduce our donation portal, so those interested can fund the next generation of INCUBATE startups. Hint, hint. We brought back the role of the entrepreneur in residence. It was a resounding success. Giorgio, Lizette, and Paul all brought different skill sets that enhance what we were already achieving with our mentors. And we thank every mentor who has given their hours of amazing advice, helping the startups navigate the pitfall of the startup scene. Now, there are so many in the university I want to thank. everyone from the Sydney Innovation Network led by Martin Tomic. I would rather not say any names than leave somebody out, so all I'm going to say is if you've been on a Zoom call with me and I've said the words demo day, thank you. Now, the past is good, but the future's better. We have 3 programs here at Incubate that we run. Now, the first one is Proto. For those of you who are unfamiliar, Proto is for those of you who think you may have the start of an idea, or you want to see how to generate an idea, or could this idea be a business? Proto is a series of workshops that allows you to see whether this idea could be a business. Next up is ProtoX. Now, ProtoX is where I see a lot of growth in the next few years for Incubate. ProtoX is a program that you would call a pre-accelerator in startup terms. What it allows is it allows people to understand customer validation and perhaps get to their first customer. You come to ProtoX if you want to see if your idea is worth starting a business and potentially leaving your job and taking the plunge. Now, the brilliance of ProtoX is ProtoX can be a standalone course, or it can be moved into different verticals. So we mentioned the MBA program, but it can also be a medtech program. It can be any number of different schools within the university, or it can sit on other more social gains. So, for example, First Nation founders, female founders, corporate social responsibility startups. And finally, Incubate. Incubate is the jewel in the crown. It has been 2 cohorts a year for the last few years, except for during COVID. Now, in 2023, Incubate is back. 2 cohorts a year, supported by the ProtoX programs that we're going to be running. Now, as you've seen tonight, Incubate is not about, do I have an idea? These are fully formed businesses. Incubate is about getting you your first $1 million. It's about getting you your first funding round. It's about getting your first product market fit. And as you've seen tonight, you can see how awesome the results have been. Now, you've seen these stats, 1,000+ jobs, 145 startups, 40 million total investments, and a combined worth of over 70 million. But Incubate is fundamentally about building better founders who can go on and achieve these great things. With that in mind, I would like to introduce Amal. Her startup, Equolution, launched way back in cohort 7, and now she's flying with a multi-million-dollar business with over 25 staff serving a global customer base. Amal.
I want to start by saying congratulations to all teams tonight. I was on this same stage 7 years ago pitching my idea to a panel of judges, so it must have felt really daunting being on this stage tonight. You guys were all really fantastic, and I can't wait to follow your journey to elevating your business. Taking the plunge is not easy. There are many great ideas that exist, but not a lot come to fruition. And that's because taking the first step is always so hard. So kudos to all of you for taking that first step in your entrepreneur journey. So a little bit about me. My name is Amal, and I am the co-founder and CEO of health tech platform called Equolution. We facilitate science-based nutrition through a mobile app. We practice a very balanced approach to nutrition and do not demonize any food groups, allowing our clients to enjoy the foods that they love, such as pizza, pasta, and ice cream, all while achieving lifelong results. With our one-on-one coaching with a team of nutritionists and dietitians, we have made education around nutrition accessible. So what were the early days like? Well, we started our business through servicing our clients through Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp. We wrote every single meal plan manually and sent it off through a PDF document. We managed our entire client list through Google Sheets, so you could only imagine what it was like when one client name went missing or an entire row got deleted. It was chaos. So with the increase in demand came an increase in human labour, which meant that we were working 22-hour days, and the only solution to our problem was to invest in technology. In 2015, we graduated from the Incubate program. Still a very manual business, but with all the learnings and resources to take our business to the next level, which was automation through technology. The Incubate program played a very crucial part in our journey as non-technical entrepreneurs and founders when we were looking for the answers to invest in the tech space. We definitely had the will, we just needed to find the way. Upon completion of the program, we tapped into our new network and found the answers that we were looking for. We knew it was going to be super challenging, but we weren't going to give up under any circumstance. There were many failures along the way, including our initial investment of over $200,000 into our first build of technology, which was a complete flop. And we did not use the code base in the end and ended up investing in technology again. But with every loss is a learning, and I'm very thankful for every chapter in this journey. So, what does this next phase entail for all of our entrepreneurs that are present tonight? Well, you just need to back yourself. You need to block out the external head noise. No, sorry, you need to block out the head noise. Don't block you need to block out the external noise. Don't block the head noise. That's the good one. And you need a shit ton of perseverance. Because there are going to be times where you'll want to give up. There are going to be mornings where you're going to not want to come out of bed because you're going to feel so overwhelmed with stress. And there are going to be days where you're going to question whether you're the right person. But you are the right person. In fact, you are the only person that will do this. Your purpose will be your driving force. So make sure to lean into that when in doubt. 7 years post-incubate and a lot has happened. Equolution has transformed over 20,000 minds and bodies and now has a team of 35 talented employees that are working towards our vision today. We have received amazing awards and recognition such as Forbes 30 Under 30 and Deloitte's Fast Top 50 technology companies, and some pretty amazing media coverage as well. Thank you. So for those sitting in the audience today feeling inspired by my talk, I hope that I have sparked a little fire in your belly to take the plunge and the next step, because there are many problems that are waiting to be solved, just like we heard tonight. I can't say that the journey will be easy, because it sure as hell won't, but it will be worth it. There is no better feeling in this world than being a part of an impactful movement and knowing that once insanely crazy idea that you had sitting on your lounge room floor one day could change the world. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and to close the event and provide a voice from the university, I would like to welcome to the stage Professor Richard Miles, Pro Vice Chancellor.
Look, I even dressed for the event. I'm wearing my pinstripe suit to be the man from the university. Look, I think I was just wondering why I think this is probably the most inspirational event in which I get involved in. And I think more than anything, it's not just the great ideas and the great business ideas that we see here. It's also, I think, more than anything, Demo Day is a demonstration of a number of sort of key human skills or human attributes. And one's ambition. I think there's nothing wrong with having some ambition. I think the other thing is ingenuity. And the last thing is resilience, because behind, and I think our last speaker really touched on this, behind all of the success and all of those things, there's always sacrifice. All these stories have sacrificed them. So resilience, again, absolutely important. So look, and I know we've been sort of clapping a lot, but I really want us all to clap our hands now for what we heard today, because it was fantastic. Now, another thing to say is that, so when I first started working in this job, I have to say that for many of us, innovation seemed, and I should say, look, I'm a professor of archaeology, okay, so well qualified for this job. I think I thought it was a sort of lovely sort of side hustle for the university. Really fantastic thing to be doing, hearing about entrepreneurship and hearing about business. But any university now that doesn't see innovation as an absolutely critical activity, I'd say is going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, why is that? Of course, there's all the revenue generation, et cetera, that goes without saying. But I think the most important thing, and here again the humanities person speaks rather than the business school person, is around connectivity. I can't think of anything better that we do that doesn't connect all the diverse communities within the university together. I mean, look at us tonight. We've got people from the staff, we've got people from outside of the university, we've got our students, professional staff, everybody here together. And the best way of connecting is to basically work together, have ideas together, to discuss things together. So that's really important. And I think staying on this sort of theme of connectivity, the other thing is that a good university, or a university which is still relevant, and universities shouldn't think that they just assume that they're going to remain relevant forever. It's got to think about, we've got to be external facing. We've got to serve the communities around us. And innovation and entrepreneurship is a crucial way in which we do that. For us, for our students in particular, it also gives them the core critical skills and those values that I've just been talking about before. And I can't think of a better vehicle for basically, or a better way for our students and others to basically learn those skills. And you know them all. Working together with people who are different from you, being able to disagree well with people. Not something I learned late in life. Thinking about resilience again, when things go wrong. If we think about our careers and think about our lives, I don't know about yours, but basically they are sort of intimate little bits of failures, okay? Little things that we should learn from. And actually, one of the great things about entrepreneurship and innovation is that it really distills it, okay? And it says, okay, if that doesn't work, you get up and you get on, you try again. So for me, those are all absolutely important things, central things for a university. But that means that we have a responsibility in two important ways. And here I'm going to, with my twin and the research, sorry Julie Kearney for calling you my twin. I know that's an absolutely grave insult. But the PVC on the research, in the research portfolio, there are two things that we're talking about at the moment. One is that good innovation will grind to a halt unless there's critical investment. And that's something that, as the man in the suit, that's something which we are going to be working at very hard this year to make sure that Incubate doesn't stand still but grows. And there's a huge capacity for that. So that's one thing. And the other thing is to make sure, when I talk about connectivity, sometimes the university is not connected enough. So again, we're going to be working very hard to connect all those bits together to mean that these sorts of events and these sorts of activities are going to be even bigger and better. Now, David's basically stolen a lot of my thunder by doing all the sort of Oscar-like thanks, okay? But I think I need to just reiterate some of these things. First thing, of course, is to, all these activities and even this event, they don't happen on their own. What David has come into this job, and he's come in at a critical time. And I'd really like to thank him and the Incubate team for everything they've done. It's been amazing. And then I'd also like to thank all of those in the EEE team, in the innovation side of that, for everything that you do behind the scenes. Again, absolutely amazing. And we talked before about the mentors, all those people that volunteer to do this stuff. And volunteering is the sort of lifeblood of a place like this. All those people that do things without being paid or anything like that. And that's an amazing thing. So we can really put our hands together for them because they do an essential thing. And I think, finally, I'd like to say, thank you to all of you, okay, who come to these events. So nice for us not to be, and this is nothing against all the people who are watching at home, but it's so nice being here amongst people, and it makes it even more precious. So thank you, all of you, for coming tonight. Thank you. You can clap yourselves. And lastly, I do want to embarrass somebody, okay, who, so Nina, will you stand up? Where are you? Is she there? Come up, come up. Look, Nina, I'd love to say that I've got some nifty present or bouquet of flowers or something, but I've only just thought about doing this. But look, I just wanted to say, you've been at Incubate through thick and thin. There have been brilliant times. We've had a few tough times as well, and you've been there. And if I'm thinking about somebody who embodies all of those things I was saying, especially resilience, it's been you. And this wouldn't be here without you. So can we give Nina a real big clap? Thank you, everybody. Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, Richard. So thank you for joining us tonight. That is the conclusion of the evening. For those of you who are in the room, please go speak to the startups. For those of you who are watching online, you should be able to access all the links to organise one-to-one chats with the founders. And finally, if you are watching this and you have an idea, get in touch. I want to see you on this stage in 2023. Thank you.